For almost 100 years, the world was gripped by a mystery that refused to fade. A name carved into history, a legendary flight that vanished without explanation, and a legacy that inspired generations of theories, documentaries, and expeditions. Amelia Earhart, the fearless pioneer of the skies, disappeared in 1937 while flying across the Pacific Ocean. Her aircraft, a Lockheed Model 10 Electra, was never recovered, or so it seemed. Now, 88 years later, that chapter may finally be closing. The solution did not arrive through sensational headlines or cinematic dramatizations, but through a carefully organized, scientifically guided expedition. For decades, historians, adventurers, and researchers combed through every clue they could find. Fragmented radio transmissions, naval records, scattered debris, and eyewitness reports. Some believed Earhart's plane sank to the ocean floor, while others theorized she had made it to a remote island, or even been captured. None of these ideas produced solid evidence, until now. In 2025, a team specializing in deep-sea exploration, equipped with advanced sonar mapping, AI-driven navigation, and next-generation underwater drones, stumbled upon something extraordinary. Hidden beneath layers of coral and silt, more than 16,000 feet below the surface near Nikumaroro Island, they detected an anomaly. As the remotely operated vehicle moved closer, the outline of a twin-engine aircraft came into focus. Its frame, astonishingly well-preserved, bore the exact hallmarks of Amelia Earhart's Electra. The discovery triggered worldwide astonishment. Aviation historians meticulously analyzed the footage, comparing every visible detail with original Lockheed schematics. Specialists confirmed the unique tail design, the arrangement of the engines, even the rivet patterns, all a perfect match. But the defining evidence was a partially visible serial number engraved on a landing gear strut. That number corresponded with a part installed specifically on Earhart's aircraft before her final mission. For more than 8 decades, Amelia's fate hovered between myth and reality. She was not just a pilot, she was a beacon of courage, independence, and determination. Her disappearance became one of history's most haunting enigmas, inspiring theories ranging from underwater crashes to survival on remote atolls, espionage, and even extraterrestrial involvement. The absence of proof allowed the speculation to flourish. That absence has now been filled. Yet questions remain. Why was the wreck not located sooner despite countless searches and millions invested in expeditions? The answer lies partly in the sheer immensity of the Pacific and partly in the technological limitations of earlier decades. Past expeditions lacked precise mapping and the ability to explore such extreme depths. Even satellite scans could not penetrate the dense ocean layers. Only recent innovations, AI-assisted submersibles, deep-sea LiDAR imaging, and machine learning sonar, made this possible. The Discovery team had spent years refining an algorithm that merged historical wind records, flight deviations, tidal drift patterns, and navigation errors. Their probability map pointed them to an overlooked, deeper sector. This new theory suggested Amelia missed her refueling stop at Howland Island due to a small navigational error and eventually ran out of fuel, forcing a controlled water landing. The wreckage itself supports this conclusion. The wings remain largely intact, the fuselage shows evidence of a deliberate descent, and the forward section is well preserved, far more than if there had been a catastrophic crash. No signs of fire or explosion exist. Instead, the plane appears to have entered the water softly, suggesting Amelia and her navigator, Fred Noonan, might have survived the initial ditching. Did they send distress calls? Did they wait in vain for rescue? Evidence suggests so. Amateur operators in July 1937 reported faint distress transmissions mentioning fuel shortages and uncertain positions. These signals, once dismissed, now align eerily with the confirmed crash site, south of the Navy's original search grid. The rediscovery is not just about solving a mystery. It is about restoring Amelia Earhart's place in history with clarity. She broke records, flew solo across the Atlantic, and was a tireless advocate for women's equality in a male-dominated field. Her disappearance cast a shadow of myth over her life, but the wreck transforms that myth into tangible reality. The aircraft site is now being safeguarded, with international teams deciding whether it should remain undisturbed as an underwater monument or be retrieved for museum preservation. Either choice carries profound symbolic weight. The discovery has also revitalized interest in aviation history and oceanic archaeology. Schools are updating curricula, documentaries are underway, and Amelia's story is being told anew with modern evidence. For young dreamers, especially girls in science and engineering, Earhart's journey now represents not only ambition and courage but also rediscovery and legacy. The exploration team itself reflects global cooperation. Engineers, marine scientists, and aviation experts working across borders to study the wreck with delicacy. Every fragment is being 3D scanned and catalogued to reconstruct her final hours. Early sonar suggests some sealed cargo compartments remain intact, possibly containing maps, navigation logs, or even undeveloped film. Such artifacts could provide an unprecedented glimpse into Amelia and Fred Noonan's state of mind during those final moments. Though the chances of human remains surviving at such depths are slim, forensic teams remain open to the possibility. Even the smallest organic fragment could confirm identities and finally close the loop for descendants. For Amelia's family, the find is both heartbreaking and healing. Relatives have spoken of closure mixed with pride, remembering her not merely as a legend but as a daughter, sister, and a woman determined to prove what was possible. This is not simply the recovery of an aircraft, it is the restoration of a family's legacy. Importantly, this breakthrough highlights the role of citizen scientists. Countless amateurs contributed theories, archival research, and data analyses over the years. The solution did not emerge from a government megaproject, but from a collaborative effort that drew upon open-source knowledge and global curiosity. Skeptics remain, questioning whether certainty can be claimed without recovering the wreck. Some even suspect ulterior motives like funding drives. But with mounting structural evidence, serial numbers, and historical radio alignment, denial is increasingly difficult. Interestingly, the location revives the long-dismissed Nikamururo theory. Some evidence over the years, bones, tools, local oral traditions, had suggested Amelia and Fred may have reached that island. The wreck's proximity now lends weight to the possibility that they survived temporarily, perhaps stranded on the reef while the aircraft drifted to its current resting place. This also raises questions about the wartime era. Did classified military records allude to the site? Was knowledge suppressed for geopolitical reasons? These questions now form part of the unfolding historical debate. Above all, this discovery is a reminder of perseverance. Amelia Earhart risked everything at a time when aviation itself was still in its infancy. Her courage to embrace the unknown has now been mirrored by explorers who pursued her trail for nearly a century. For decades, her memory was sustained through statues, museums, films, and stories. Now, that memory is anchored in reality, a physical wreck, a set of coordinates, an undeniable connection to her last flight. The team plans to release detailed maps, sonar images, and a documentary chronicling their expedition. The footage already captured is haunting, the silver silhouette of an aircraft resting silently at the bottom of the sea, untouched for generations. Discussions are underway for memorials, both on land and at sea, with proposed flyovers from vintage and modern aircraft. While the central mystery is finally resolved, fascination endures. We may never fully know what Amelia experienced in her final hours, but the wreck offers the closest answers humanity has ever had. Her voice still echoes in her words, "Adventure is worthwhile in itself." In rediscovering her final adventure, the world has rediscovered endurance, the value of history, and the relentless human need to seek truth. After 88 years of silence, Amelia Earhart's plane has been found. A tragedy has at last transformed into truth, and a door long closed has finally been opened.